All right, everybody. Thanks for downloading this episode. We got a chance to talk to a pro boxer today, Jamel Herring. He's working with Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, if I can say that right. And he's worked a little bit with Floyd before. Worked out in Floyd's gym. He's currently signed to Top Rank. He's worked with Al Heyman. So pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Got a fight coming up in April. So we talk about that too in the podcast, so check it out. Before we get started, we say it every week, but we really want it to happen. We'd really like to move up in these charts and these ratings and everything. So if you don't mind just heading over, give us a quick review. We'd really appreciate it. And Jamel Herring, everybody.
All right, everybody. We're pretty excited about today. We have a boxer on for the first time, and we have Jamel Herring. How's it going?
Hey, everything's going well, man. How you guys doing today?
Oh, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. First professional boxer we've had on. First boxer at all. So, a little bit different interview for us this time, maybe.
Yeah.
We usually do NFL
It's
players.
It's an honor. It's an honor then.
Nice.
You usually do NFL players. We've done a couple like MMA fighters and wrestlers. So we're kind of moving into the combat sports a little bit.
Okay.
So what started you off boxing?
It's crazy, man. It's actually a funny story. I'm back in high school, right around my sophomore year. I was actually doing bad with my grades at one point. And I used to play a lot of basketball and other sports, school sports. But I'm pretty sure as you guys know, if you don't keep your grades up, you can't play. They won't allow you to play. So I was never the type of guy that like to hang around the streets. So I always wanted to stay busy by doing some type of activity, which is mainly sports. So I remember a friend invited me down to the boxing gym around that time, and I just stuck with it. Now I'm not telling anybody out there, just go out there and not to focus on school, because eventually I did get my act together. And I got my grades up to where like my junior and senior year, I was making honor roll. But that's really how I got into sports. Into boxing.
And did you play any other sports in school?
I did track and field, of course.
Okay.
Basketball. After a while, when I was younger, I did football. But after a while, these guys, they got too big. They got way bigger than what I am. So I kind of left football alone for a while. And I stuck to basketball and everything. But yeah, I played a lot of other school sports.
And you said that your friend kind of got you into the boxing world.
Yeah.
Is he still boxing?
No, he's not boxing, but he still, he still stays tuned with everything that goes on in the boxing world.
So he got you into boxing, and then you're the one that stuck with it.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that was kind of funny.
Kind of weird how that worked out.
Yeah.
So, and we also were reading and stuff. You were in the Marines for a while, right?
Yeah.
Cool. How long were you in the Marines?
I enlisted in the Marine Corps from 2003, right after I graduated high school, like the same year, all the way up until 2012.
What
9 years.
What made you want to join the Marines?
Being from New York, the whole 9/11 incident, that was a main, reason and a huge impact on why I joined the Marine Corps, of course. And I also had a close friend of mine that I grew up with. That was he was a year older than me, so he had enlisted the year before, and that also helped me. Helped me basically get my, plan on an idea just to join as well. And I joined the Marine Corps like the following right after I graduated high school.
Well, thank you for your service before we move on.
Yeah, I think this is the first veteran we've had on.
Yeah, as far as we know, this is. So thank you for your service. Appreciate all you've done, all the sacrifices you've made. So and to your family too. I'm sure they've made plenty too. So thank you for everything. But moving on. So we were reading you started out. Did you go to Paris Island first, and then Camp Lejeune, or was it the other way around?
Yeah, no, it was on Paris Island, which was on basic training, boot camp.
Okay.
Then afterwards, I went to Camp Lejeune.
And see, we're from Charlotte, so Camp Lejeune not too far away, right down the road.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is the first North Carolina number we saw whenever the call came through.
Oh, is that a North Carolina number?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yep, 910. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's kind of different. It's usually some like area I've never seen before whenever we get a call.
And going through the Marines, it kind of led you into the Olympics. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Cause like I said, I enlisted in 2003, and I did two enlistments. I could have gotten out um in 2011, but I wanted to represent the Marine Corps in the Olympics, so I actually did an extra year in service to represent them. And I didn't know until I got there in London in 2012 Olympics, but I was actually the only Marine to compete in the Olympic Games. So
Yep.
that was a huge accomplishment.
That's that's crazy. Like you're like a American hero. That should be your like boxing name.
Thank you.
So what was it like balancing the Marines and boxing? Like, what was that like? I mean, because you served two tours in Iraq. I mean, were you still boxing during that time, or was it like you kind of took boxing off for a little while?
Nah, yeah, it was exactly what you just said in the end. I had to take time away from boxing, because I had to basically handle business. And to me, I honestly, to me, do what was more important, and the reason
Oh
why
yeah.
I even joined the Marine Corps to begin with, which was serve and protect. But I mean, I remember, what was it, in 2006? That's when I started. That's when I even knew that the Marine Corps even had a boxing program at all. But I stayed there for a year, and then 2007, no, no, 2005. 2005 was my first deployment. And then I went to the Marine Corps boxing team in 2006 afterwards. But I only stayed there for a year before I went back to Iraq for my second tour in 2007. But after my second tour, they just basically pretty much gave me full orders to where I can just do boxing, full time. So basically, from like 2008 all the way up to the Olympics is when I got to just focus completely on boxing. But beforehand, I had to take care of business and do my time and serve and help everybody else out there overseas.
So, and I might have misheard you when you said this. So, when you came back from your second tour, um, the Marines asked you to box. They told you to focus on boxing. So, are you still? Did I hear that right? Like they're telling
Yeah,
you to
pretty
go
much. I
box?
mean, they allowed me just to completely focus on boxing afterwards.
Oh,
After my
sweet.
second tour, yeah.
That's
So
pretty
I mean,
cool.
like I
Yeah,
said,
that's pretty cool. I didn't
I
think
was
they
like,
would do that.
yeah, yeah, because it's crazy. Like a lot of people don't know that when they think of the Marine Corps, they think it's just all deployments and everything like that, which is which is somewhat true. But there are opportunities that they allow for Marines to to do other things, because the programs like that, it helps boost the morale, and it also helps with recruiting and bringing in
Yeah,
future Marines. So that's what they allow guys like me and others in the past to to do activities other than just being on the front lines.
and I'm just making a contrast comparison here, but it's almost like in the movie Forrest Gump. Whenever he's really good at ping pong, even though he's in the
Yeah,
Marines,
exactly.
in the movie
Yeah,
in the movie he goes and competes in the Olympics and wins them or something like that. I think
exactly. Yeah,
so. I
he went from
guess kind of the same
time in
thing there.
Vietnam. Yeah, he went from serving his time in Vietnam, and then he ended up representing his country and in sports and doing ping pong. So yeah, it's just like that even today.
So you're living the Forrest Gump movie in real
Yeah.
life,
Pretty much.
saving lives and competing in sports in the Olympics. Pretty cool.
Exactly.
So moving on, we had a pretty interesting amateur career. We were reading all about it, like we said a couple times in the Olympics, a couple times. And what what made you finally decide to go pro with it?
I just figured up until that point, I achieved everything that I needed to do in terms of, like, my military experience, and just get into the Olympics, because it's like to me, it's like, once you get to the Olympics, it's like, what next? Because the Olympics is, as we already know, even with the Winter Olympics that started yesterday, it's a great big deal. So I just looked at it as like, I don't want to go backwards, but I'm not saying that there's not too many things higher than the Olympics. But I was like, what can I do next? And I was just like, let's just focus on, I guess, going professional and trying to achieve a world title afterwards. Because especially in boxing, it's not like other sports, because it's really tough with the Olympics. Cause it's not like track and field, where if you lose here, you maybe have a chance to compete again in the 200 or the hurdles and things like that. It's like no, with boxing, it's like once you're eliminated, that's it.
You're
There's
out.
no other. Yeah, there's no second event. There's no 200 dash and anything like that. So it's a tough process to even get to that point in the Olympics anyway. So I was like, I'm not about to do another 4 years waiting for the 2016 Olympics. So I might as well just go pro and achieve a goal from there, and also basically become the first world champion, I believe, since like the 1970s that represent the Marine Corps.
Wow.
That's definitely a high accomplishment for sure. That's a
Yeah.
long time. And what's like the like we were talking to an MMA fighter the other day, and he was talking about like when you go pro, you have to do like you have to kind of like I think he was saying like you have to do some paperwork and do all that. Like, is there like an official transition, or do you just start doing the fights?
I mean, it's crazy because like I would say boxing is. I'm not too sure. I think I think MMA is probably the closest thing as well in terms of like comparison how the sport is run. It's basically like we're not like the NFL, NBA where it's like you get the draft and the transition to this and that. Because truth be told, anybody can basically sign up to get a boxing license and become a boxer. You can go just basically walk off the streets and do professional boxing. Now, I'm not saying you'll be successful, but it's just a lot different from as where you have the draft and the guys that get selected off their from what they did in college or whatever. So it's a lot. It is a lot different, but I think the main thing for every boxer is to basically get signed with a top promoter. When I first went to professional boxing, I was with top advisor Al Heyman up until this past December, and then I signed with Bob Arum, who's been around since the 1960s, whatever. Who promoted guys like Ali and Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather. So I'm with them now, and that's a huge thing because it basically helps me get on bigger platforms like ESPN and other top networks like that.
Have you had a couple fights like recently like televised?
I haven't been in action since the summer because, like I said, I was still dealing with the whole one contract ending basically, and trying to do a new contract with another promoter. So I won't be back in action until April 14th, which is probably air on ESPN or more than likely the ESPN app, which basically live streams everything that goes on, and that'll take place in New York at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
So that's a huge that's a big deal right there. And right now I'm actually in training camp.
Most famous arena in the world.
Yeah, that's like everybody says like that's where you want to perform, like
Yeah, it's
regardless of what you
crazy.
do.
And it's crazy because I'm from New York, but I never had the opportunity to basically perform there. I performed at the Barclays Center now, but it's nothing like New York,
Wow.
Madison
Yeah,
Square Garden, because that's a huge thing.
Yeah,
I
we'll be
mean,
watching that one.
we will definitely be watching
Appreciate
that.
it.
That's pretty cool. So I mean, that's MGM Grand and Madison Square Garden. Those are the two right there. I mean,
Yeah, and it's crazy because I actually got to fight in the MGM Grand, but I never got to compete in the inside the Madison Square Garden.
wow, pretty sweet.
And whenever they do I meant to ask you a second ago. Whenever they do the contracts, like how are they structured? Is it like fight by fight deals, or is it like 3 fight deals?
Yeah, it's crazy because there are contracts just like that. There are contracts that I have fight by fight deals. Then sometimes they give you a 3 fight deal to see where you're at, and if you do well, then they might give you a full another contract. But in my case, actually I signed actually a 5 year deal with Top Rank.
Whoa.
The minimum for my fights per year is at least 3 fights per year. If I pick up a world title, then it's like at least 2 fights a year, just stay busy and so on and so on. But yeah, there are a lot of different contracts out there, depending on your situation in the sport.
That's unbelievable. 3 or 4
Yeah,
fights a year, 5 year contract, and I'm sure the Olympics and probably being like, hey, now I'm an Olympian. I've done this in the Olympics. I'm sure that didn't hurt at all.
yeah, exactly. Like everything, and I'm like the main people don't realize also in boxing, you have a lot of guys that can really fight, but if you want to get somewhere, it all depends on it's all based on your promoter and how they can promote you to the crowd. Like you just pointed out also, the Olympics on your resume sure didn't help. But like I tell a lot of athletes that come from the military backgrounds, use that as well because a lot of these promoters they love the fact that when they see a guy that represented that the country, and the military, just basically have a military background gives you a lot of huge respect. So why not use that to where they can promote that to military towns and cities and things of that nature? Because like I said, the military crowd is actually a big, it's a big crowd that a lot of these promoters and sports figures like to try to get out to as well. Because you know if I do a show on like Camp Lejeune or Camp Pendleton somewhere, it's going to bring out a huge, it's going to bring out a huge crowd. So a lot of these promoters also look into that as well.
Yeah, that's definitely good, like positive to have on you, because that's something nobody else can brand like as themselves. Like that's nobody can recreate that really.
Exactly.
So in our messages when we were talking, you're are, are are you training with Terence Crawford? Are you helping him with a fight, or like what's the going on with that?
Okay. What was it? This past summer is actually I was training with him to help him get ready for one of his world title fights, and his whole team they respected and liked everything that I did. So when it was time for me to basically renegotiate my last contract, I had reached out to them because I wanted to make a few changes in my career, and they was actually more excited to bring me back on board, with them more than anything. So I basically instead of helping them out with training camps, now we all work together as one team. So yeah,
Okay.
right now, his coaches and trainers are my trainers now. We just click, and everyone gets along real well, and it just makes training a lot more fun because I mean how sports are. Sports training camps could be, they could be rough and rugged on you, but if everybody's on the same page and having fun, it just makes things a lot more easier.
And for people who's listening that don't know the name Terence Crawford, that's
It's
a
big time.
that's a guy who Floyd Mayweather has branded as the best pound for pound fighter on the planet. I mean,
Yeah.
so arguably the best boxer of all time branded this guy the best pound for pound boxer on the planet. I mean, this serious Terence Crawford. If you don't know who that is, pause this podcast right now and go look him up.
And I was looking up some videos of your fights and all that, and I came across the video of you and Floyd in the gym together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That's
pretty cool.
have you ran into him on multiple occasions, or I mean, is that like a
Yeah, because boxing actually is it's a small world, man. Like I even I actually it's crazy because I actually met Manny Pacquiao before I met Floyd Mayweather, and Manny, Manny's a great guy, and actually he'll be fighting on the same day that I'll be fighting in the same arena. And it's great, and I didn't know until recently that he never fought at Madison Square Garden, so this will be his debut there as well. So like I said, boxing is a small world, man. You don't know who you'll run into at any time.
how'd you meet Manny Pacquiao?
When I had basically got the right after I had got out the Marine Corps from my active duty, I had went to California, and I just I was out there for to watch a show or whatever. I remember my trainer at the time, he took us down to the wild card gym that's ran by Manny Pacquiao's trainer Freddie Roach, and Manny happened to be there. So we just basically sat down, talked for a while. Shared some of his experience with me, and he was just all around great guy. And since then, like I said, whenever we see each other, we'll sit down and talk, and we just have a great time.
That's I mean, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. I mean, that's what year did you meet Manny Pacquiao? Was it before him and Floyd fought or after?
What did I? It was right. It was I know it was right. I believe in November of 2012.
No,
Right
so that
before,
was
right?
before they fought.
Yeah, I mean that
Yeah,
was kind of right before it. I think that was like they fought
yeah,
in
yeah,
15,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. That was about like a couple of years before they fought.
Man, that's and when did you meet Floyd?
I probably met Floyd maybe around I think 2014 or whatever.
So were you still with Al Heyman whenever you met him? I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, man, that's
Yeah, I think you're right because I was looking at like whenever we were messaging back, I was looking at your page and some other boxers' page, and everybody was like following each other, and like every time I click on somebody's thing, they'd be following you, and you'd be following them. It's like everybody kind of sticks together in the boxing world. It seems like.
Yeah, it's like a fraternity, man.
Yeah, because I would go look, and I'm like, all these guys like kind of stay connected on here, which is probably good because, like you were saying with Terence Crawford, like you can help each other train and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's like, to me, it's like one thing where like I don't do trash talking, and I can't make it personal because like I know a lot of these guys from like the amateurs as well. So it's like it's kind of hard to have like a grudge or talk try to talk down on somebody because like you said, everybody knows each other. So it's like I don't take much personal. If anything, I just look at it as I'm just gonna go in here and handle business, and afterwards, we can shake hands and go hang out somewhere. But that's just how I look at things in terms of boxing.
And I think on the video I saw, one of the videos I saw, you said you were lightweight, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What So whenever you were with Al Heyman, like, did you actually get to meet Al Heyman and everything? Like,
It's funny because, like I said, everybody said Al Heyman is like the most under wraps man or whatever you want to say. Like he's never around, and it's true. Like I could probably count on one hand how many times I actually seen Al because he does a lot of his business through others, and his associates, whatever. So yeah, man, it's like yeah, I've met him a few times, but it's like it's really rare for anybody to see him in the public eye, man.
He's like a mystery man kind of thing.
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, you never see. I mean, you never see him, and he has tons of fighters that are signed with him. I mean,
Yeah, and another thing is a lot of fighters actually don't even get to speak with him directly. I was fortunate to be the ones to actually have his phone number and I
that's
speak to him
crazy.
over the phone. But yeah, that's great. Like a lot of fighters actually don't even speak to him directly. They, like I said, they usually go through somebody else to get a message through.
Wow. And who'd you say you're signed with now? I'm drawing a blank.
Top rank.
Top rank, yeah.
Top ranks. Bob Allen. Yeah.
Wow. These are huge names. This is crazy. That's unbelievable that technically you've shared a ring with Floyd Mayweather. I mean, you've been in the ring and he's been sitting there step for step watching every move you make, critiquing it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
And it's crazy. Like he actually wanted to sign me around the last time I seen him. But I just figured, he was without him also, and I was without him, so I just figured like there was no need to add, a middleman if we were both working around the same circle.
Man, what? And did you go to his gym in like Vegas or whatever? Is that where you went?
Yeah, that's the last time I ran into him at, and probably the video where he's at in the ring and everything. It was at his gym. That was in his gym.
Pretty nice gym. Is the gym like super nice? Pretty nice gym.
Oh yeah, it's a nice facility. I mean, he has a nice place over there.
It seems like
So,
all the videos like leading up to leading up to the Conor McGregor fight, like it seemed like his and Conor's. Well, Conor was at the UFC's gym, but I mean, it seemed like Floyd's gym's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's clean.
To me, like I like to keep everything low key, and that's probably one of the reasons why I never really like to. I actually never really like to train out there because it's a Floyd Mayweather gym, so there's a lot of traffic that comes in and out. And I'm pretty sure as you guys see the videos when he's training, it's just tons of media, and it can get crazy. It can get really hectic over there.
Yeah, it's probably hard to kind of focus with all that going on. I bet there's people.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like there's a lot of people that like to just kind of like, which I probably would like to do myself, just like they go and like kind of spectate a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be kind of hard to get into that training mindset like that.
Yeah.
Is when you see those people standing around, I mean, is that just like who are some of those guys? Is it just like agents or like friends or something like that? People you bring with you?
Like you just said, like some guys, a lot of them actually just spectators, fans. You might have fighters who aren't from the area who just want to come in, actually, get to see how the gym is ran at times. But I mean, you have media though. You have business advisors and managers that come in as well to not only look at Floyd, but the fighters that he may manage as well or promote.
Man, I'd love to, like you said, I'd love to just go sit and watch. That'd be so cool to just watch the greatness, all those guys in there. I mean, that'd be so cool. But we're kind of winding down here. What'd you, kind of off the wall question, but what'd you think about the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor fight?
Me personally, if I'm being honest, I just thought it was more of it was more entertainment than a fight. I mean, it was crazy. Like I was still in shock that the fight was even made. Let's be honest. Like it's been talked about for a couple of years, but a lot of people didn't think that it would happen. So I mean, that tells you, the high demand of the fans out there on both ends, how big the event was that it even happened. So, it was great. It was great in terms of like, getting people out there to watch boxing because it does help the sport overall in terms of people spectating. But I just thought it was more of an event than a fight. But like I said, it was it was good for business as well. So
Yeah,
can't really say much on it.
I think it did exactly what it needed to do.
Yeah, we like were kind of like we haven't watched boxing as much the last few years, but ever since that, I've kind of like we kind of got into it and started watching some of the fights here recently.
Exactly, and yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, think about like like other guys, other people out there, just like how you just said it, who may not have been watching boxing, as much in the past. But when you get events that get put together, and like you said again, it did what it was put out to do. Get people tuned back into boxing, and so like I said, it wasn't a bad business rule, but in terms of the competition, I just look at it. It was just an event, but they both got paid really well. So
Real well.
I'm a Conor fan too. So I can't be mad at it. It was a good business move on both ends.
It was a great spectacle. The way we summed it up, it was a great spectacle. I think it did, like you said, it did exactly what it needed to do. Got eyes back on boxing, and I think it really helped with the Triple G Canelo fight. Like I think I don't think as many people would have saw that if they wouldn't have watched Floyd and Conor.
Yeah, we ordered that because they were promoting it that night, and we were like, all right, let's get that. That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Now that fight, that thing was unbelievable.
No, yeah, that was a really good fight, and I'm looking forward to the second one.
Yeah, the rematch is going to be off the
Yeah,
wall.
I feel like
off the chain.
People who know boxing would enjoy that way more than the Conor and Floyd. Like if you're actually what's going on, you would enjoy the Triple G one.
Exactly.
Did you think the decision was kind of flaky?
Yeah, I thought Golovkin, I thought he won.
Yeah, we did too.
I thought he won, but like I said, I mean, I'm not taking anything for Canelo. Canelo,
great fighter.
Yeah, and I actually met him too as well.
Dang.
I just thought about that. I met Canelo back in San Antonio, in I think 2013 or whatever. But Canelo's he's a really good fighter as well. But I just thought Golovkin was just the better man. But hopefully, they settle the score right, and the right man wins the decision the next time around.
Hopefully, and I'm just glad we get to see it again. But really, I mean, I'm just kind of happy. I'm almost happy it came out that way.
Yeah, I think they were kind of like, if we don't really know for sure, we'll just kind of rule it like to where we can have another one. So I think I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
it was a good close fight, but I'm with you. I kind of think Canelo took it, but that's all right. I'll take another one. I'm not mad. But
exactly, and like I said, that's nothing. It's just good for business.
Exactly.
We get to see it twice. So
everybody that saw it,
everybody behind us now is not upset because it's good for business.
Yeah, it's like everybody who saw it, and like the people who didn't see it. If you're friends with somebody who did see it, they're like, man, you should have seen this fight last night. It was the greatest boxing fight I've seen in years, and and it's like, but it came to a draw, so they're probably gonna do another one.
Yeah.
So I mean, your buddy's all excited and good eyes are back on boxing. So boxing's it's making a good little comeback, I think.
Yeah, I'm starting to get back into it pretty good.
I mean, if you think about it, the landscape is also changing as well in terms of, for like years it was basically you could only catch boxing on HBO or Showtime, but now it's coming back to. It's basically being free again. They put it on Fox Sports 1, ESPN, CBS. So what I mean, that's the whole the whole big deal now. With making people tune into boxing more because now it's being put on free television. And then with technology, like I just said, if my fight isn't on the main ESPN platform, it'll definitely be on the ESPN streaming app and things of that nature.
Exactly. Yeah. It's I kind of think that's what helped I kind of think that's what hurt boxing, maybe helped the UFC, because, they do like 3 free cards a month, and they do like 1 pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2, but they usually do 3 free cards and 1 pay-per-view a month, and it's like you get that little bit of tease of the free cards, and you're like, well, man, I wonder how good the one is I got to pay for.
The one they keep promoting all the every single show, the free shows.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Man, and even Dana White is now getting into boxing.
yeah, he's starting his own boxing company.
Because he's seen what the McGregor and Mayweather event did, and like Dana is actually a real good promoter. So I'm pretty sure that he's seen, if we can do this for this type of event, imagine what I can do on my own with my own ideas for boxing.
Yeah,
so I'm actually interested to seeing what he does as well with the sport.
And he's a great, like you said, great promoter. I think if he about anything he touches turns to gold. So
yeah,
he'll probably.
And just out of curiosity, it's going to work because people are going to have to see what his type of boxing label will look like.
Do you? Oh, go ahead.
I think, like I said, I know. Like I've been hearing through the grapevines as well that Dana's gonna be like really working with like closely with guys like Al Haymon, who's been around boxing a long time ago. So I think like, he'll have basically a good stable of boxers when the time comes. I know right now he's taking his time and doing everything right, because when he does decide to really come into boxing, I think he's gonna make a big splash.
Yeah, he's already. I think he already owns Zuffa, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think he's completely absorbed Zuffa, and I think that's how he's going to brand it as Zuffa Boxing. I think is what he said.
I think that's what I heard too. Yeah, I think that's what I've seen as well.
Do you entertain this Floyd Mayweather MMA thing at all?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because like I said, I respect Floyd, but at the same time, if you really examine Floyd, he has a lot of pride and ego. So I don't think he's gonna risk losing at all, and especially on any level, because he's very competitive.
Yeah, very.
So and everybody knows, in the UFC is a whole different animal. That's why even as a boxer, I don't downplay or disrespect UFC when you see or MMA as a whole, when you see guys that always we all see it, the boxing fans and MMA fans arguing amongst each other. I respect the sport because it's a different animal. And people also got to take into consideration, Floyd is 40 years old.
Yeah,
your body can only do so much. And in UFC, man, that's a full body sport. So
a shin to the cheek is a whole nother. That's a whole other animal.
Yeah.
That's a whole.
Exactly. And I just think that like Floyd just loves the attention. So of course he's gonna say things or do things, whatever. But
yeah, he's a promoter.
If I didn't hear him sit down at the table with Dana by now, I don't take it seriously.
Yeah, I had to get a boxer's.
Yeah, we really wanted to see what you have to say about that.
Because it's a super hot topic.
The thing is, Floyd's a promoter, and he's getting what he wants. We're sitting here and talking about him right now about this. So I guess it's working.
if he got you talking about it and talking about him, that's all he cares about, really, man. Floyd just likes the attention and still being in the spotlight, pretty much.
Now, one thing I will say, Floyd's I wouldn't put it. I don't think it's totally outrageous. Like I think it's 95% chance it's not going to happen. But Floyd, I don't think he'd go in there and get dusted like people think.
Yeah, he has some things that I think would help. I don't think he would get embarrassed like people are saying.
Yeah, I don't think he'll, go out there and 10 seconds he's done tapping out.
Nah.
I just think, like I said, and like you said, I can't count it completely out either. So so I'll give him that.
Because he is a fighter.
And Floyd, we all know he loves the money. If they offer him whatever he's asking for, I wouldn't doubt that.
That's what I'm saying. Because he's sitting there talking about 4 fights, make another $1 billion. Floyd Mayweather. We all.
Exactly.
How many times have we heard the "I'm retired, I'm done"? Then somebody flashes $300 million in his face, and he's got him right back on.
Exactly, because like I said earlier, a lot of people didn't think that him and Conor were getting the ring together, but the right price.
Exactly.
People will do just about anything for the right price.
That man made, they say, about $400 million that night.
And he's like, they could always do a hybrid type boxing / MMA. They could make the rules where it's kind of different, but it's not really really ridiculous. They could always do something like that. And
Yeah.
Floyd likes to give people what they want. I mean, he did the WWE match, and then he did the Conor match. I mean, he's kind of tested the waters a few times.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, for the right price, Floyd will do just about whatever.
He will. He will. I'll give him that. He'll do about anything if you pay him correctly. So, well, man, we don't want to hold up your whole Saturday.
Oh, I had one more question.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to hear like kind of like the diet plan and all that kind of stuff leading up to the fight, like how you kind of like
Like
get
cutting
ready
weight and
for it.
stuff?
Yeah.
Oh man, we usually getting ready. Like we usually prepare at least a 6 to 8 week camp. Because like I said, you start out, and we all start out working. Working extremely hard, but we have to eventually cool down. But like I said, my training schedule is crazy. Like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'll get up. I'll do my strength and conditioning early in the morning. I'll go to the gym for my regular gym workouts with basically mainly with technique. And then at night we'll do swimming to end up the whole day, whatever. And Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays I'll run. I'll do some sparring, and I'll probably do some sparring later on in the evening. But that'll be basically like two workouts during that day. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, getting ready for a fight is usually a 6 days a week event, and we'll probably just take the Sundays off. But it can be extremely rough. And that's why I mentioned earlier, like if you have a team in a camp where you can have fun and enjoy it at the same time, due to the atmosphere, it runs by pretty quick. But yeah, sometimes camps can be rough on you, especially during like Olympic sports. Yeah, it can get crazy.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
It sounds
So
ridiculous.
it's definitely like a grind.
Yeah, definitely a grind, like a 2-month grind, or every single day.
Mm. Well, man, we thank you for talking with us today.
Yeah,
we don't want to hold up your whole Saturday.
We really appreciate it. We know you got to train and all that stuff. So I mean,
We know you're a busy guy. So thank you for talking with us, and thank you for your service again. That most important thing, right
he's
there.
an American hero, people.
Thank you. And like I said, hopefully, we can speak again later on down the road.
Yeah, man. Tell all the boys, tell Terence and Floyd and all them. We want to talk to them too.
Oh yeah. I'll spread the word, man. Like
Yeah, we definitely.
Terence is actually an easygoing guy, man. So hopefully you guys get to speak with him one day as well, because he's really an easygoing guy and laid back, down to earth.
Well, man, good luck in April.
We're gonna watch your fight. Can you tell us the date again?
April 14th, right?
April 14th.
Yep.
Madison Square Garden, ESPN.
We will.
We'll be sharing it.
We will be watching.
We're gonna. I mean, we don't have as big as a following as you do, but everybody will be hearing about it from us.
Appreciate it, man.
We're blocking off the whole afternoon that day, so man.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back on. This was really fun. Thanks for some of the boxing insight and kind of helping us learn a little bit about the boxing world.
Yeah, anytime.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, everybody. We hope you enjoyed that one. We definitely did. The wrap-up was a little weird because we just kept saying thank you and all that. We're really glad he did it, though. We were really appreciative, as you probably could tell.
A lot of things to thank him for in that one.
Yeah.
Service and talking with us. And
he was really cool about the setup, too, because the hardest part about doing these is trying to get the date and all that, and he was super flexible, and he was, like, willing to do it whenever we wanted and all that, so.
Yeah, it was like we said, there's a lot of things to thank him for. We've never had multiple things to thank somebody for like that. So.
And then, like with the NFL players, it's kind of like, hey, I mean, I saw this guy do it, this player do it, this guy do it. It's like, when you're the first boxer, the first MMA guy, it's kind of like the first person of each, I guess you could say each sport is kind of like the pioneer of doing it for us. So it's kind of like we really have a lot to thank him for, because after that we have some credibility.
Doors open up.
Yeah.
So. But
so I just wanted to cover that, so people were like, "Why do they keep thanking him over and over?"
It was definitely cool to talk to him and learn a little bit about boxing. Learn, I guess, more than what you just get on TV. Learn about like friendships that develop and connections that develop and how things work in the boxing world. So
yeah, I didn't know there was like such a brotherhood with the boxers. Everybody kind of sticks together and trains together and all that.
Yeah, it was cool to learn all that. So
he told us April 14th. You make sure everybody watches that. It should be on ESPN, he said.
Yeah, be sure to check it out. Like he said, check it out on ESPN, ESPN2, maybe, ESPN on the app.
We'll probably be doing a pre-podcast about it or something, because we're kind of invested now.
We'll find out a way We'll find out how you can watch it, and we'll definitely promote it on the podcast, no doubt. We'll do some digging, figure out how it's going to be aired long before it actually gets aired. So a couple weeks before it gets aired, we'll figure it out. So if you want to find out how to watch it, you got to check back here. We'll know. But thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for all the support and all the downloads and the ratings and the reviews.
If you like the boxing ones, that's great because we're going to try to get some more.
Yeah,
if you like the football ones, we're going to have actually probably 1 or 2 tomorrow. So we're going to have everything of everything. I guess you could, or some of everything.
Yeah, we're doing 2 tomorrow. So we're doing this on Saturday, and we're doing 2 tomorrow. We might release one like Monday and then one like Wednesday or Thursday, just to make sure we kind of break them up a little bit so you're not getting overloaded with downloads. But so thanks for listening, guys. Be sure to check out the ones coming up. Check out the ones we've done in the past. They're pretty good. We got some wrestlers, MMA fighters, and a lot of football players, so check them out.
We do plan on doing more YouTube videos again. We're going to have a couple high controversy kind of type of topics. We're going to have a couple debate type worthy videos, I guess you could say.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I'm sure you've seen some of our videos on there, so we'll have more like that. So
yeah,
it should be pretty fun.
A lot of they're opinionated. We'll just call them opinionated.
Well, I think they're more of like, this is why we think this, because of the facts with this player's stats or whatever. We're going to show you why.
We're going to tell you why we think the way we think.
Yeah. Mainly like with the ranking, the greatest of all time, and this is the best quarterback, this is the best whatever. That's what we're kind of talking about if you couldn't like kind of figure what we're probably being really vague. So that's kind of what we're heading towards.
Yeah, we've done a couple of those. So thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for the downloads, like we said. Be sure to check out the YouTube channel coming up in the future. Check out future downloads for the podcast and previous ones. They're all good. They're all really good. So thanks for listening, guys.
At least we think they're good.
We've got feedback saying they're good.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of credibility. I mean, it might be our parents or something, but you never know. I mean, who knows? But thanks for listening, guys. Be sure to check them all out. We'll see you next time.